time for bed.
Do I have to, Mama?
Just listen to your mother.
But who's tucking you in?
The wolf?
No.
The bear?
No.
My nanny! Yay!
Now up we go.
Faster, faster! You're a train! You're a train!
Daisy Armstrong. Now straight into bed and no more nonsense.
Oh, all right.
Close your eyes. Night, night.
Who are you? Go away! Nanny!
Come!
No, I won't come! Mama! Daddy!
Good evening. The story you are about to witness is one of romance and tragedy, primal murder and the urge for revenge. What better way to spend a pleasant evening together? From the beginning, it was an odyssey of deception and trickery. One minute I could see the light, like the beam of a train engine hurtling past. The next minute all was darkness, and the thread I pulled came away in my fingers and led to nothing. It was the greatest case of my career, but who am I to say modesty forbids it? It was certainly the most difficult I had ever encountered, and it made me question the very deepest values I have held since I was a young man. Began in the exotic city of Istanbul. I planned to vacation there for several days, following a trying case that was on my nerves. But that all changed the moment I walked into the dining room of the famous Tokatlian Hotel, where the enormity of the prices is matched only by the self-esteem of the waiters. My name, incidentally, is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective.
This way, monsieur. I have a beautiful table I'm sure you will enjoy. It is your first time in Istanbul, yes?
Oh, that is correct. How did you know?
Oh, just my little observations. One needs to be a detective like that famous Poirot fellow from France.
I believe he is Belgian.
No, from France. I know him personally.
I see.
Your table, monsieur.
Ah, I see.
Mary, there you are.
James, at last, where have you been?
Oh, I'm not that late, am I?
Of course you are, you're always late. And I was terrified we'd miss the train, it would ruin everything.
I was just exploring a bit. I've never been to Istanbul before, and I quite adore all this Eastern nonsense.
Well, I don't, I just want to leave right now and get it over with.
I wish the hell you were out of all this. You deserve better, you know.
Oh, shh, not now. No one should see us like this, not till it's all behind us. Besides, I think we're being observed by that funny little man over there.
What, him? He's probably just on damn phone now, probably doesn't even speak English.
Shall we order? I'm starving.
Not here. I found a cute little place around the corner where I'm sure the food will be 10 times better.
But we can't be late for the train, we can't miss it.
We won't be late, I promise. Now stop fussing and come on, let's hurry.
Oh, you all, waiter, you did a very nice job, and I'm leaving you a little something extra because of it. Young man, excuse me, young man, are you American?
Yes, I am.
I thought so. Us Americans need to stick together, especially in a place like this. I can't even pronounce half the things on the menu. Can you believe it? What is a fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la? I keep seeing them on the street. It looks like you could play hockey with them.
Well, I think they're made out of fried chickpeas.
Ah, well, there you go. Some people will fry anything. You know, I don't mean to snoop, but I do see your train ticket there on the table. Do you know if they're providing a bus to the station?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that...
Don't worry, I'll ask and find out. As it says in the Bible, if Moses doesn't know the answer, ask the concierge. Oh, no, I think I'd better be off. I think I'm annoying that odd little man with his silly mustache. I don't think it's real.
I hope the food at this humble establishment is up to your usual standards.
What? What is this mon Dieu, Monsieur Bourg?
My friend.
Oh, mon ami, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? This is my city. I live here.
Ah, of course, I am a fool.
I run Wagon Lift. This is the greatest train company in the entire world, and the central office is in this hotel. Garçon, this meal is on me. Please charge my office.
Oh, no.
Oh, oui, it'll give me pleasure. You are my guest here, huh? So now tell me, what are you doing here? You are solving a crime, hey?
Oh, that was last week in Syria. It was a bad affair. An army officer, a missing Czech, a beautiful woman. It did not end well. The man was guilty, that was certain, but perhaps I pressed him too hard to admit his guilt. It was unfortunate in the extreme, but I believe I did nothing wrong.
Of course you did nothing wrong. If you break the law, you must pay the price. That is what you have told me.
It is what I live by.
So now tell me, you're staying here at the hotel?
Well, I was hoping to. I wanted to play the tourist, but there was a message from Scotland Yard at the front desk, and so I have asked the concierge to give me a ticket tonight on your world-famous Orient Express.
There will be no problem. And the best news is, I will be joining you. For I go to Lausanne tonight on business.
C'est magnifique!
Pardon, monsieur. The concierge said to tell you, there are no more first-class tickets for the express tonight. It is sold out.
No.
It is my train. It is never sold out this time of year. That is ridiculous.
There must be like a party or a convention, perhaps?
You tell the concierge to find a berth for Monsieur Poirot. He is my personal friend.
But monsieur...
The number 7 is always available. It is held in reserve. Now go tell him.
Right away, monsieur.
Merci.
It is nothing. A gesture. Now, you see this menu?
Oui.
Throw it away. For tonight, we shall sit on the train together like old times, and we shall dine like kings.
The food on the train, it is edible?
Monsieur Poirot, you stabbed me in the heart. I'm writhing on the ground at your feet. It is not a mere train that carries you tonight. It is a legend. It runs like no other train on the entire earth. The fittings are from Paris, the paneling from Venice, the plates are from Rome, the taps are from New York. The best foods, the best beds, the best pillows, the best feathers inside the pillows. It is poetry on wheels. And Lord Byron himself could not write it better. So, tonight we shall dine. Prepare yourself. For 1 hour I'll meet you on the platform of the Orient Express.
Messieurs et mesdames, l'Orient Express partira dans 20 minutes du quai numéro 10. Veuillez faire attention aux marches, soyez prudents et bon voyage. Ladies and gentlemen, the Orient Express will depart in 20 minutes from platform 10. Please watch your step and have a safe trip.
Greta, will you please put those suitcases down? You are driving me mad.
Oh, no, Princess, do not have concern. They are not so heavy as they look, I'm sure.
They are extremely heavy.
Princess Turgamira, lovely to see you. Please, may I help you, madame?
Oh, it is Mademoiselle. I am not married except to God Almighty who lives in heaven.
Oh, Greta, please, not now. This is Greta Olsen.
I am a missionary. I worked in Africa with the little babies.
I have agreed to pay her way if she will assist me as I travel to Paris.
But your usual companion, Miss Smith.
She is very sick. Oh,
The doctors are calling it a cardiac event, but she is German, so it is very unlikely to slow her down.
I will pray for Mrs. Smith and God will protect her, yeah.
Greta, please, that is enough. Just get on the train.
Yeah.
You're in compartment 11, Princess, as usual. And Miss Olsen, you'll be sharing with Miss Mary Debenham in compartment 4.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Miss Debenham.
Mademoiselle, you'll be sharing with Miss Olsen here.
I will do my Very nice, so I am not disturbing you.
I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Hector! Here, sir. I'm right here. So luggage on board. Yes, it is. And I checked this morning to see if any mail had arrived overnight, and this came in apparently. God damn it! I know! It's awful! I mean, prepared to die?
Keep your voice down.
You should call the police.
It's none of their business.
These are dangerous! This is the third one this week. It's good you've got that gun.
I said keep your voice down!
Excuse me, could you direct me to compartment 7, please?
Number 7, monsieur? There must be some mistake.
Well, let us hope not. I have to be in London by the end of the week. My name is Hercule Poirot.
Hercule Poirot, the detective?
What do you know? Hercule Poirot. I heard of you. You're famous.
Merci, monsieur.
Name's Ratchet, Samuel Ratchet. Import-export, and I may have some business for you.
Oh, I am on vacation, monsieur.
Oh, you'll change your mind when you hear the price, eh?
Mr. Ratchet, you're in Department 2.
I know where I'm going. Thank you. We'll discuss it inside.
All aboard! Monsieur Poirot, hello, you have beat me to the gate. You have met Michel, he is from Paris, and he is the best conductor in the company.
Merci, monsieur, but your friend here says he's number 7, and I'm afraid he's already taken. And you think our first class is full.
That is incredible.
I know, monsieur. All the world likes to travel tonight.
You will put him in number 1, please. That is my personal compartment, and I will find something in one of the other carriages.
I will not take your bed,
Oh,
bon ami.
no, I insist. It is done. Michel, you will make the arrangements.
I am in your debt.
Now, tell me, have all the other passengers checked in with you?
Not yet. We're still waiting for Mrs. Hubbard, the Count and Countess in Drenny.
I hear the Countess is one of the greatest beauties of Europe. She is Hungarian, I believe, a commoner who became a doctor, and when she married the Count, she became royalty.
I see you're coming now.
Oh, Countess Elena Andreevna, welcome. I am Constantine Book of the Wagon Lady.
I am delighted to see you.
No, your reputation precedes you. May I present my friend, Monsieur Hercule Poirot?
The famous detective. That is being wonderful. I have read about you in the papers, monsieur, and I admire you greatly.
Nagyon kedves.
Ez az a gózség.
Nagyon dovedik.
You speak Hungarian beautifully.
Not as well as you speak English.
May I help you, Countess?
No, it is nothing at all.
And your husband, the Count, is coming?
Alas, he cannot join me this trip. But since I am visiting my mother, it works out nicely. He does not like her.
Oh.
Mr. Poirot, I look forward to hearing of your wonderful adventures.
And I look forward to telling you about them.
You're in Department 12, Countess.
I think you are in love, my friend.
I would not discount the possibility.
Well, is this that Orient Express that I keep hearing so much about? It doesn't look that impressive, at least not from here.
You're Mrs. Hubbard?
Ah, Mrs. Helen Caroline Peabody Wilson Van Pelt Hubbard, if you please, from the beautiful Garden State of Minnesota. Mr. Peabody, my first husband, was a dear soul, but the poor man had no talent for longevity. I shouldn't say poor because he did very nicely for himself, thank you very much. My second husband was a Mr. Wolsham, whom I loved dearly, but he loved a lot of women. So I traded up and got a Van Pelt. And then I caught him in bed with that redhead from the Waldorf who did his nails. Then at last I found Mr. Hubbard, and I call him my little white knight for rescuing me from a lifetime of bridge games and watery cocktails at the Minneapolis Country Club.
And is Mr. Hubbard joining you?
Oh no, Mr. Hubbard is not joining me. And Mr. Hubbard and I traveled together once. He said it raised his blood pressure. I don't know why. So now I do it for the both of us. Do you like to travel?
I travel every day.
Oh, well, you and I should exchange notes sometime.
Compartment 3.
Well, is that yours or mine?
Yours, madame.
I do hope it's comfy.
I have never had a complaint, madame.
I'm sure you haven't.
She is quite a character.
They are all characters. If I was Balzac, I'd write a novel about all of them.
To think for 3 days these strangers are put all together, eating and sleeping under a single roof.
And at the end they shall part, never to see each other again.
Unless
Unless what?
There is an accident or something fatal occurs.
Monsieur Poirot, why would you say such a thing?
I am sorry, it is my business, but there is something wrong. There is a tension among these passengers. One of them does not fit in. It has me frightened.
No more business, please. You must now succumb to nothing but pleasure and prepare yourself to step aboard the pride of the wagon lid for the most memorable journey of your entire life.
Well, ain't this the bee's knees? I might just move in for good.
This way, please, and watch your step.
Oh, holy cow, is it snowing out there?
We get a lot of it this time of year, I'm afraid. Last year we were stuck in the snow for 7 days.
7 days? But was there liquor on board?
There is always plenty.
Oh, now I can breathe again. Don't get me wrong, I do eat solid food, as long as it's cooked in bourbon. As they say in the movies, lead on, Macduff.
Greta, you must keep up. Keep up. We have to get on the train before it starts moving. I have to confess to you, Princess, I am not liking trains. Since I am a little girl, they are feeling very tight to me. Like clothing that is made wrong size and is squeezing my bosom. May God forgive me.
Don't be silly. Trains are wonderful.
I am also not liking all these strangers and their clickety-clackety. But we will be sitting next to each other, yeah? Oh, that part is good. In Africa once, I am on a train, and there are noises and crying and animals, no. And I look up from my book, and sitting next to me, right on the seat, is a very old goat. It's true, old goat. It is like my companion. And on this trip that we are taking together right now, I think it will not be so different, yeah? Oh, God.
Mr. Perrault, slow up. I'd like to discuss that proposition I mentioned.
I'm afraid this is not a good time, monsieur.
Sure it is. Sit down. I'll be quick, I promise.
It is not a good...
Sit! Sit down.
Eh bien, proceed.
I'd like to take a job on for me.
I take on few new cases.
You'll take this one on, I guarantee it.
And why is that?
Because I'm talking big money, Mr. Perrault. I have an enemy.
I would assume you have several enemies.
What's that supposed to mean?
You are successful, n'est-ce pas? Successful people have many enemies.
Right. That's it exactly. See, we're getting some threatening letters lately, and I need an extra pair of eyes to do some snooping around in. That's what you do, am I right? Snooping? Of course. I can take care of myself. But I'll pay you $5,000. How does that sound?
No.
All right. 10 for a few days' work.
I am not for sale, monsieur. I am very fortunate in my profession, and I only take on such cases as interest me. And frankly, you do not interest me.
You want me to grovel, is that it?
I want nothing, monsieur, except to leave.
Pardon me, sorry.
Hey, you're that countess, aren't you?
That is correct.
You're awful pretty. And from what I hear, you were a commoner to start with, just like the rest of us.
That is also correct.
So, does that mean you'll have a drink with me?
I am married, monsieur. My husband is having business elsewhere. Please excuse me.
Not so fast.
Move out of the way, please.
You don't need to be all high and mighty about it.
If you do not move this second, I will scream.
Now, just wait a second. You said you're unattached at the moment, and we're on a train. So who the hell is going to know what happens in a private room on some two-bit...
Stay away from me!
Mr. Ratchet, I've been looking for you. I put
Shut up, Hector! Just shut up.
Aha! My friends, I hope you're settling in all right and enjoying yourselves. It won't be long now until we, not long at all. So the journey begins, huh? I wish you both good luck and, Godspeed.
Hello?
Oui, madame.
Ah, ooh, Michelle. would you bring me a bourbon, please? And put it on the rocks. The tap water here is terrible.
Right away, madame.
And how about some nibbles?
Nibbles, madame?
Oh, you know, munchies, yummy, something to snack on while I drink my bourbon.
Ah, you mean like crisps, madame.
Oh, yes, like crisps. We call them nibbles in the Midwest. Have you ever nibbled on anything, Michelle?
I have not had that pleasure, madame.
Well, you bring me those crisps and I'll give you a lesson. Over and out. Oh, you know, you're not doing that bad, old girl. You are looking younger every day. Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. I'd give the world to be among the folks from D.I.N.C. Even now my mammy's waiting for me, praying for me, down by the Swanee. The folks up north will see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore. Swanee, Swanee, I'm going back to Swanee. Well, shut up. Who asked you?
It's the middle of the night.
Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. I give the world to be among.
Yes, sir, what is it?
You tell that ridiculous woman to keeping it down in there?
Ridiculous woman? Well, I heard that.
Mister, if the lady wants to sing a little song.
It's 12 o'clock at night.
Now listen here. You just mind your own business.
Get out of here. This is my compartment.
Well, if I want to have a good time, I'm going to do it.
You're insane.
Mind your own
You just
business.
get out.
Michelle, I think he's dangerous. Are you a thug? Are you with the mafia? I do think he is dangerous. Oh my God, he's got a gun. Michelle, it's a
Get
gun.
out this instant. Get out of here this instant. I said get out.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, Charleston, Maine, Carolina. Oh, hey, Mr. Who's It? I hope you don't have any trouble with this one. It would be un-American. Some dance, some prance. They say there's nothing finer than the Charleston, made in Carolina. Some dance, some
Long night. She will ruin me. It is all over. Someone should shoot her and put her out of her misery.
Orient Express to Belgrade Station. Orient Express to Belgrade Station. Emergency code number 867. Alert code blue. This is important. Hello. Do you read me? Are you there, Belgrade?
We read you, Orient Express. Pray continue.
We've just left Sofia, and the snow is becoming heavier by the minute. I am getting concerned as we head into the mountains. Please prepare your rescue equipment in case of device. Hello. Do you read me? Belgrade. Belgrade, are you there?
Oh, thank God, I thought she weren't coming.
What's the matter? I've got your note.
I'll tell you what the matter is. I'm frightened because we shouldn't be doing this.
Now, calm
Oh,
down.
I can't calm down. We have to stop this.
No, that's ridiculous.
Oh, no, it isn't. That's a trouble with you military men. You never show any real emotion. It's always stiff upper lip no matter what's going on.
Mary, we're doing nothing wrong. You have to remember that.
I'm trying, I really am.
Better?
Yes, I think so.
There's a hill near my home in Scotland, and I used to sit there for hours watching the trains go by in the valley below. And I knew they were headed to exotic locales, and I wanted to climb aboard in the worst way.
But you didn't.
No, I suppose somehow I knew I'd break my mother's heart.
You're a very good man.
She was a very good woman.
Do you know what the worst of it is with all this traveling we've been doing? We don't get any privacy. It's just so maddening.
Well, I don't see anyone around at the moment, do you?
No, I suppose I don't. James.
Be strong.
I will, I promise.
Oh. Hello. Hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Of course you are, you moron. Are you blind?
Okay, sorry, I'll go get the snap.
Oh my God, the train's stopping.
What is it? What's happening?
The snow! Fuck!
Oh, not now.
Even a snowdrift.
Oh Christ, that's all we need.
Should I go take a look?
What good'll that do?
James, he's right. Let him go.
Mary.
Go ahead, Mr. McQueen. We'll be here waiting for you.
Right, yes, I'll be back in a minute.
Why'd you send him off like that?
Someone come quickly! Help! Help!
Mother, what is it?
There's a man in my room. He ran off, I'm sure of it.
Which way did he
Well,
go?
that way, just a second.
But madame, this is where I am coming from, and I saw no one.
Well, maybe he ducked into a compartment or something. I don't know. I tell you, I was lying in my bed, dead to the world, and a man comes out the door, and he was wearing a uniform.
But where would he come from?
I don't know. He just suddenly appeared.
And he looked like...
I don't know. I could barely see him. One second he was there, the next he was gone. He was like a phantom.
But how is this
How
possible?
should I know?
And perhaps you were dreaming.
I was not dreaming. I know when I'm dreaming. My mouth gets dry. Does my mouth look dry to you?
Oh, your door was locked?
Well, of course it was locked, but people have keys, don't they? I bet you have keys. You own the company, don't you?
No, madame, I run the company, and I will look into it.
Well, all right then, but hurry up about it. I don't feel safe.
She is keeping you busy, Mrs. Abbott.
You have no idea. She insists there is a man inside her compartment.
Michel, perhaps.
Impossible. He is helping my engineer at the moment.
Attends. We are not moving.
You are telling me.
A snowdrift.
We, and we are stuck here until they send men to Belgrade.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, my friend, but I promise you'll be completely comfortable as long as it
Have
takes.
you tracked him down yet?
Not yet, madame.
We'll keep trying.
Good night, my friend. I hope you get a good night's sleep. Because that will make one of us.
And hurry up about it.
I wonder.
Greta, it is I. Slow down.
Oh, princess, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. Stretch it! Sir! Sir, can you open the door, please? Hello?
Is there something wrong?
Well, he's not answering, and the door's locked.
Mr. Ratchet, are you all right?
The passkey, perhaps.
Oh, yes, of course.
I hope he is not being ill.
Ah, there is a chain.
Hello! You must force the door.
It will break and need repairing.
Quickly, you do not feel the air from the room. It is freezing. Quickly!
I do not like this at all. There you go, it is.
Mr. Ratchet!
Do not look.
Do you see his chest? It is horrible.
Cannot believe it.
Do not touch anything. Not a speck.
It is human life. It is a wrong.
Greta, calm down.
Princess, be so kind as to escort Miss Olsen to her room, please.
Come away, Greta.
Holy cow!
There has never been such a thing in the history of my company. What are you doing?
I am examining the wounds. There appear to be 8 stab wounds to the chest. Mr. McQueen, when was the last time you saw him?
Me? I don't know anything. He was fine when I put out his wine last night.
But you are his secretary. What do you know about him?
Well, nothing, really. He never talked about himself. In fact, I think he was hiding something. I mean, that's just this is an impression.
Why do you suppose that is?
Oh, well, I think he was fleeing from America to get away from something. And I think he managed it up until a couple of weeks ago. And then, he started getting threatening letters. They're in my compartment. You want to see them?
Yes, go quickly. And have the Countess join me here.
Right, okay, I'll be right back.
It is incredible for such a thing to happen on my train. Oh, it is freezing in here.
You have observed the window?
Oui, it is open.
But what you see outside?
Nothing.
Exactly, there are no footprints, no marks in the snow. No one came or entered through this window.
Then why is it open?
I assume to mislead the police when they arrive.
Police?
Of course the police, it is a murder!
The Yugoslavian police department? Oh, no. We do not want them. You must solve the murder and then tell them who did it.
I have interfered too much already.
But my company is at stake.
But mon ami,
I just think what any Yugoslavian police inquiry would do to my company. People would say, oh no, I cannot travel on the Orient Express. I could be murdered in my bed, and then my sales would suffer, and I would lose my clients.
But I have to be in London in 3 days' time.
What's insolvent do? You are a magician. I have seen you work. You listen, you look, you pester, you make a pain of yourself on the backside, and then suddenly, poof, the case is solved like that.
But the police would be angry.
The Yugoslavian police department, oh, they're like the Three Stooges in the movie house. They poke each other in the eyes. They would be thrilled not to have to do the work. If you saved them the job, they would put up a statue of you in the center of the ground.
I would need a plan of the coach.
Ah, done.
And the passports and tickets of everyone on the train.
Ah, done.
Excuse me, but you have asked to see me. Oh, dear God.
Countess, forgive me. I understand you were trained as a physician. I was hoping perhaps you would help with the body.
I am happy to help.
I am afraid it is not a pleasant sight.
I have seen worse, believe me. I volunteered in the war.
Regards, the left side of his face is slightly red. Do you see?
I do. It has been slapped.
How do you know?
Because I slapped it.
Oh.
I count 8 separate wounds.
Yes, that was my count also. Can you estimate the time of death?
I would say it is between 8 and 10 hours ago, which puts the time between midnight and 2 o'clock.
That we are in accord.
It appears that the killer was wild, in a frenzy of some sort.
And did you see? Of the 8 stab wounds, 5 are strong and 3 are mere scratches. And wait, do you see the wounds are from different directions? I need a pencil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, oui. Now, watch closely. We take the pencil and we place it inside each wound and push gently.
Oh, is this necessary?
Perhaps the man changed hands during the stabbing.
Or there were 2 assailants, one right-handed, one left-handed.
One strong, one weak.
It is possible. But another question presents itself. Why did Mr. Ratchet not fight back when all the while there is a gun under his pillow?
Ooh la la.
Oh, Lord, may I see it?
How did you find it?
He showed it to me yesterday, so I knew it was here somewhere.
It is an automatic and I believe it is loaded. Oh, wait! There is a safety switch. It is not on.
S'il vous plaît, mon ami, have you not heard of the fatal accident? Wait. I have a very good nose. Smells of wine.
It smells of almonds. He was clearly drugged, which is why he did not fight back.
What is this? In his pocket.
It is a watch and the face is smashed.
It is stopped at 1:15.
At last we have something important, yes. It is the time of death, and the Countess said between midnight and 2, so there it is, it could not be clearer. 1:15 is the time of death. It is obvious.
It is possible.
What do you mean, it is possible? What is wrong with it?
I do not know yet what is wrong and what is right with it. I am still investigating. There is a pipe cleaner, and there is a match, and there is another match of a different size. There are dozens of clues in this room, and I am suspicious.
Oh, look at this, on the floor.
It is a lady's handkerchief, with the letter H on it.
And yet another clue, and who is H, as in Hamlet?
That is the question. There is Mrs. Hubbard, and I believe that her first name is Helen.
And then the princess.
Her name is Natalia Dragomirov, and there's Mary Debenham, and Greta Olsen, and James Arbuthnot, and Hector McQueen, and I am Constantine Book, and there has never been such a thing in the history of my company, and it will ruin my company, and I want you to solve it immediately.
You are upset?
I am very upset. A man has been murdered on my train.
It will be all right.
I hope so. And I will smoke a cigarette.
I think it is a good idea.
Oh my God, will you look at this ashtray? People are lying down on the job.
Ah! Wait, do you see? What? There's a piece of paper that has been burned. Possibly to hide its contents. And look, there's something written on it. What I need is a lady's hat box. Oh, Countess, do you keep such a thing?
Of course I do.
I greatly admire that creature book. Did you see? She did not ask me a single question. I asked for a hat box, she gets me a hat box. I asked her to help with the body, she rolls up her sleeves. I suddenly desire to be young again. Do not move. I am getting a spirit lamp. I use it to heat the wax for my mustache.
Why do you need a spirit lamp?
Because I am using science to catch the guilty party. Usually for me it is the psychology, the mind of a killer, but not with these clues.
Why not?
Because I do not trust them. The handkerchief. Did the woman drop it, or did the man put it there and say, I will make it look like a woman's crime? The same was the pipe cleaner. I will make it look like a man has done it. And then there is the window, the gun, the watch. There are dozens of clues, and I am unhappy.
Your hat box, monsieur.
Ah, merci.
Je vous en prie.
If I ask you to leave your husband and run away with me to Monte Carlo, what would you say?
I would say, give me 5 minutes. I need to pack.
I will get back to you. In the meantime, hold this, please. Now, I believe that this paper is the remains of a note, possibly a thread that has been burned to hide the information it contains. But I believe letters will appear, but only briefly as the flame is striking them. So we must regard them while we can. So we put it over the flame like so. Do you see?
You remember little Daisy Armstrong?
But what does it mean?
There was this case in America 3 years ago. Little girl was murdered. It was in all the papers.
I do not remember.
It was a case most horrible.
Horrible.
Little Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped from a home in Long Island, New York.
Mama! Daddy!
The ransom was set at $200,000 and it was paid.
But Daisy was not returned to her parents.
3 days later, they found a little girl dead, murdered in the woods not far from her home.
No!
The police caught the man who did it, but he had ties to organized crime, so they got him off by changing the evidence. If he had been found by the public, he would have been lynched, but he gave them the slip and disappeared.
But what does this have to do with Ratchet?
I think we can guess, no?
Of course.
McQueen said that Ratchet was fleeing something in America, and he was succeeding until the letters began arriving.
Then you think...
Mr. Ratchet's real name is Bruno Cassetti, the man who murdered little Daisy Armstrong.
Good God.
Excuse me, Mr. Perot, I have the letters.
Merci. And so it begins. Monsieur Book, gather for me the passports of everyone on the train, then send to me Mrs. Hubbard and the princess and Miss Olsen together, then Mr. McQueen. Now, beat, before the trail is called, it is clear someone on this train committed this murder, and I will find out who it is. I promise you.
Monsieur Poirot, we are here out of a sense of duty. That is all. I do not like having my day disturbed.
Well, let us begin immediately. From your passport, it says you are Russian.
That is correct. I have been in exile since the Bolshevik dogs took over.
And your first name is?
Natalia.
And is this your handkerchief, madame?
Of course not. It has the letter H on it. My initials are N.D. Natalia Dragomirov.
Is it yours, mademoiselle?
No, I could not afford such a beautiful thing as this. It would be a sin.
May I ask each of you ladies where you were last night between midnight and 2 o'clock?
I could not sleep. So at midnight, the Countess Andreni and I read a book together in my room, out loud. It is the very best way to get to sleep when you are anxious.
And what were you anxious about?
The Bolsheviks.
And what book did you read?
A Tale of Two Cities. It is very comforting.
And you, mademoiselle, where were you?
I was in my room with Miss Debenham, who was also very nice. We talked from 5 o'clock until 2 o'clock, and then we slept. You can ask her.
Have either of you ever been to America?
Yes, many times.
I have not been to America, but I must go someday to raise money for my babies in Africa.
You are very religious.
Oh yeah, since I am little girl and Jesus came to visit me in my garden, he spoke with me and told me I must work very hard to help the babies in Africa.
And you are doing a beautiful job of it, mademoiselle. Just one more question for both of you. Are you aware of the identity of the man who was killed last night?
His name was Rashid and I pray for his soul.
No, my dear. His name was Bruno Cassetti, the Countess told me. And what I pray is that his soul is damned and he burns in hell for all eternity.
Princess!
He murdered a little girl named Daisy Armstrong. And her grandmother is my dearest friend. You would know her as the actress Linda Arden.
She was very great.
Not was, monsieur. She is very great. And she is very much alive. And when her 5-year-old granddaughter was murdered by this monster, Cassetti, it took her years to recover. Indeed, she has not yet recovered.
And there were 4 who died?
No, 5, monsieur. 5 people died. Little Daisy, and then her mother, who was pregnant, died in childbirth, and the baby died too. And the little girl's father, he could not live with what happened and ended his life, and the housemaid as well. 5 human souls were extinguished. So, forgive me, Greta, if I take the view that there is no forgiveness in a case such as this, and Mr. Cassetti should have been flogged to death and his remains cut up and thrown on a rubbish heap. Oh. Greta, please, Greta!
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Monsieur McQueen, please sit down.
Of course. Are they going to be all right?
They will be fine, I assure you. Now, can you tell me what exactly were your duties as secretary to your employer?
Yeah, of course. Well, I would write his letters and see, I ran his errands and other such things.
And you knew him only as Samuel Ratchet.
Well, how else would I know him?
His real name was Bruno Cassetti.
Oh, God. Are you sure about that?
Then you know about the Armstrong case?
You bet I do. My father was the district attorney for the state of New York, and he brought the case against that son of a bitch. I'm sorry, but you have no idea what he did to that family. They were so kind to me.
Anyone else in the family?
Well, Mrs. Armstrong had a sister. She went to graduate school, though, but after the tragedy, she moved to Europe, and I think she got married there. Her name was Helena. And then Mrs. Armstrong's mother, she would come and visit. She was an actress.
Anyone else?
Oh, right. Then the governess, of course, and then well, there was a baby nurse, and then poor Suzanne. She was the French housemaid. She came from Paris, and my father's office thought she might be implicated. She was so distraught by the accusation that she
Killed herself.
only she was innocent. My father was shattered. He never recovered.
May I ask you were last night between midnight and 2 o'clock?
Oh, see, 12 and 2. I was in the outer observation room with Colonel Arbuthnot.
Did you see anyone last night you did not recognize?
Nope, no. I saw Michelle, the conductor, and then the other conductor, and Colonel Arbuthnot and Mary Debenham.
The other conductor?
There is a second conductor.
Well, yeah, I saw him.
He wore a uniform?
Yes, the same uniform that Michelle wears.
And he looked like...
Well, I'm not really sure what he looked. He had a cap that was pulled down, but he was kind of a small-boned, you know, kind of feminine.
Did you speak to him?
I said hello, but he just kept going.
You have been very helpful. Thank you. You may go. And will you have Michelle come see me, please?
Yes, of course. Yes, I'll see you later then.
At last we have a breakthrough. Yes, Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth. I should have listened to her. The murderer wore a uniform, and now the question is, where did he go?
No. The question now is whether such a man exists. He could be an invention by Monsieur McQueen.
But why would he lie? He is not the murderer.
Why not?
Because he is not the type. It is a crime of passion by someone Italian or Hungarian, someone with blood in his veins.
I have now looked at all of the passports, and there is one that troubles me. There is a grease spot on the signature page. It occurs before the first letter of the Christian name in it. I believe it is telling.
Who is it?
Knock, knock. Excuse me, I need to talk to you.
If you could please wait your turn.
No, I cannot wait my turn because you owe me an apology.
I do?
Yes, you thought I was crazy.
Pardon, madame, but I do not know what you're referring to.
So what I am referring is the man in my room last night. You didn't believe me, but guess what? I have a surprise for you. There was a man, and I can prove it. He left a button. Look.
It says Orient Express.
Sure as heck does. Just like the ones that Michelle wears on his uniform.
And you found it?
On the floor this morning, bright as you please, next to my big toe, and I set these tootsies down on the floor when I woke up.
And you waited until now to tell us?
When I just woke up. It's called a vacation. And I just heard about Ratchet's murder, and I thought, well, maybe this button guy did it. You see, it all adds up. He goes into Ratchet's room, kills him, comes out through my room, and I wake up at 1:15 and see him. Well, I don't see him exactly. I sort of sense his presence. And do you realize that he could have strangled me in my bed, or shot me or something?
The dead man's name was not Ratchet, madame.
Oh?
It was Bruno Cassetti. Does that mean anything to you?
No.
Have you heard of the Armstrong case?
Oh, you mean that poor kid who got murdered? Well, it was national news. The whole world knew about it. So what?
May I ask you where you were last night between midnight and 2 o'clock?
Oh, great. So now I'm a suspect? You know, you really should read some detective stories and get some tips.
12 to 2, madame.
I just told you, I was alone in my room at 1 o'clock, and a few minutes later, some man comes in and scares the living bejesus out of me.
Mrs. Hubbard, would you be so kind as to give me your signature, please?
I beg your pardon.
Your signature, so I can see your handwriting.
Oh, I thought the French was screwy.
He is Belgian.
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm looking for Miss Debenham.
She is not here.
Did you try her room?
I've tried everywhere I can think of, and she's gone.
Have you tried the carriages at the back of the train?
Of course I did. I had Michelle open the doors, and she wasn't in any of them.
Well, she cannot be far, monsieur. It is a very small train.
You don't understand what I'm saying, monsieur. There was a murder on this train last night, and that has certain implications, does it not? Oh my God, it's her!
What's going on?
What happened? Mary!
What's happening? Oh dear, where did the sound come from?
Touch nothing, Countess!
Of course. She's still alive.
Oh, thank God!
She's alive.
Mary!
What happened?
You were shot, for God's sake!
I need my medical bag.
Well, I'll get it.
Quickly, compartment 12.
Michelle, seize the train, please.
I'll go with him.
Yes,
Wait, do you have a gun?
With what emergency?
This is not a game.
Can you sit upright?
I think so.
Oh, there is a great deal of blood. I do not like blood.
Well, nobody likes blood. Here's the kit.
Thank you. It is only your arm.
Yes.
You have not been hurt elsewhere.
No.
Do not be alarmed. I am merely cutting the sleeve of your blouse so that I can have a better look.
I cannot watch.
Careful. This might hurt a bit. It is what you call in English, jaud.
Iodine.
Iodine.
Be careful, will you?
I'm all right, Colonel.
You are remarkably fortunate, Miss Debenham. 2 inches to the left and it would have been fatal.
Well, thank God for small blessings.
Countess, may I ask Miss Debenham a question?
Are you well enough?
I think so.
It's very simple, mademoiselle. Who shot you?
I don't know. I only caught a glimpse of him. He was
What?
Tell us.
It makes no sense. He was in a kind of uniform, but I may have imagined it.
Can you tell us what happened?
I'll try. I woke up this morning feeling disoriented as though I'd been drugged or something, and I had this splitting headache. So I looked in my suitcase for some aspirin, but I didn't have any. So then I stumbled out of the room, and I saw that Mrs. Hubbard's door was ajar, and I called to her, but she wasn't there, and then I know I shouldn't have, but I went into her room. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that's quite all right.
Sorry.
Go on.
Well, my head was spinning up, and by this time, and I wasn't thinking straight, so I looked for some aspirin in Mrs. Hubbard's makeup bag, and there was a knife, and it was covered in blood. Yes!
Where is it?
I left it where it was. I was so frightened.
Holy cow, I'll go get it.
Stop! You will not go get it. I will retrieve it when I'm ready. Miss Debenham, continue.
Well, let me just say, this does prove that there was a man in my room last night, just like I could say.
Mrs. Hubbard!
Sorry.
You talk too much.
Well, I beg your pardon.
Miss Debenham!
Well, I was frightened when I saw the knife, and I must have backed into Mr. Ratchett's room, and then I turned and I saw the body on the bed with all the blood and the wounds, and then I screamed and I saw a man in the gun, and that's all I remember.
It's all right.
Are you sure it was a man?
I think so. I assumed it was. I suppose I'm not positive.
He must have been hiding in this room waiting to escape.
Well, so if I come in here first, then whammo! No more show tunes in the show.
And that would be a terrible loss.
Mrs. Hubbard, where do you keep your makeup bag?
I'll tell you, great. Go in my room. It's under the bedside table. You know, if these compartments were larger, I wouldn't have to cram my makeup bag under the bedside table like some drama school kid in a Rudolph Fremel operetta thinking they could make it on Broadway, when we all know, in fact, they have no way to make it even in way off Broadway, where they're never going to be able. Holy God!
I've never seen one like that.
Yeah! I will analyze it for fingerprints. In the meantime, will you all please leave and touch nothing as you go? When I am finished in here, I will be in the dining car. I would like to see Miss Debenham again.
Now see here.
If she is able. Then I want to see Miss Olsen as the princess again and Mrs. Hubbard.
Me?
Countess, would you be so kind as to escort Miss Debenham to her room, please?
Of course. Are you strong enough? I'm much better, thank you.
Now I see no reason to put Miss Debenham through anything stressful at the moment, and I suggest you don't.
I will bear that in mind.
I hope you solve all this quickly, monsieur. I am not afraid of dying, but I will prefer not to speed up the process.
You know, I intend to sue the company on the grounds of sheer anxiety.
Eh bien, madame, you are not the only one who is anxious at this moment.
Zagreb, come in, please. We have an emergency. We cannot reach Belgrade. We are 20 miles from the nearest town. We need assistance. Zagreb, come in.
No, there is no one here. Not a single person on this train who should not be here.
You are positive?
Entirely. It has gone too far. Our lives are in danger.
It is like a magic trick.
It is unbelievable. I told Michel to go on searching. He may find something.
I do not expect so.
Then where did he go? This man who was dressed like a train at that time.
I have no idea. That is the problem. Every time I find a piece of the puzzle, there is a passenger who has an alibi. Colonel Arbuthnot, he could have a grudge against Cossetti for business dealing, but the Queen gives him an alibi. From 12 to 2, they are chatting on the observation deck. Ah, I see. Miss Olsen, she is strange. There is something not right about her. But she swears she and Miss Debenham are up all night chattering away in the room that they are sharing. And so it goes with the princess and Mrs. Hubbard, and now Miss Debenham is shot and I am out of suspects.
Perrault, I've brought Miss Debenham as you've requested. Now what do you want with her?
I merely wish to ask her some questions, Colonel. You may go.
I beg your pardon.
You're not needed for this.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it because I'm staying.
I am sorry also because you are not.
Now listen here, you Frenchman.
He is Belgian.
I don't care if he's the man in the moon. I'm not leaving her.
James, it's all right. Honestly, I'm sure it won't take long.
She is correct. I need a mere 10 minutes.
Well, I don't like it, and you can put that in your meerschaum pipe and smoke it.
That is Sherlock Holmes.
Off go there!
Ah!
Miss Debenham, please sit down. There is much pain.
It's rather sore, that's all.
You are very brave. Let us be grateful. It was not worse.
Oh, thank God.
Now, at the hotel in Istanbul, I overheard you speaking with the colonel, and you said that you are terrified you would miss the train. Can you tell me why it was so important to you?
It wasn't that at all. I just didn't want to be late.
But you said you wanted to get it over with. Get it all behind you. Get what behind you? You seemed quite agitated.
I'm afraid you're reading into it. I'm tremendously punctual, that's all.
Pardon, it is my profession. Sometimes I am too imaginative. You and the colonel are very close, I take it.
We only met a few days ago, and I suppose we rather hit it off.
And as for the murder, I assume you know the dead man's name was Bruno Cassetti?
I heard.
And what do you know of the kidnapping?
Not much, I'm afraid. I've never been to the States.
What brought you to Istanbul?
I lived with the family for about a year. I'm a governess.
May I ask you where you were last night between midnight and 2 o'clock?
I was in my room with Miss Olsen. We chatted until quite late. You see, she talks quite a bit, especially when she's anxious, and I may have dozed off for a few minutes.
Ah, I see.
May I go?
You mean? One last thing. Would you be so kind as to sign your name, please?
All right. It's a good thing I'm left-handed. I have trouble signing with my right at the moment.
Please, get some rest. On behalf of the company, I'll have some champagne sent straight to your room.
Thank you very much.
And if there's anything else I can do to help, please let me know. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh my God, could you imagine if she had died? Oh, thank God, she's such a lovely young woman.
She is more than lovely. She's a complete liar.
Miss Debenham?
She swears she is not well acquainted with the colonel, yet they are clearly intimate. To him she said she wanted to put something behind her, and now she pretends that these words mean nothing.
But she was shot.
In the arm.
It could have killed her.
I wonder.
About what? Ooh la la, you do not suspect her of Cassetti's murder, do you?
It is not impossible.
But it is impossible. She is cool, she is methodical. She would not stab a man to death. She would sue him in court.
No. No, my friend. You are wrong if you think that this crime is sudden and passionate. This is a long-headed crimonomy. I would stake my career on it. Look at this.
What? The sleeve of the bones.
Yeah.
So what?
There is a powder burn at the entry point.
Which means?
The gun was very close when it went off.
So what? The man was 2 feet away.
Pardon me, sir. I have finished the search.
And?
Nothing. There's no sanitary anywhere on the train. If you like, I'll show you.
No. Sit down. Michel, would you be so kind as to now remove your tunic, please?
Did?
I see. There are no buttons missing. And moreover, the thread on each button is old, so nothing has been sewn on recently.
That is correct, but may I ask?
Mrs. Hubbard found this button in her room this morning.
It is not mine, sir.
So I see, but it matches yours exactly.
It does?
Michel, are there other attendants on the train at this moment?
There's one in second class, a ticket taker I've known for years.
Is he large or small?
Quite large, I'm afraid. Shall I ask him to see you?
No, that is quite all right. Are there other passengers on the train besides the one in this coach?
Hardly anyone at the moment. It's the off-season. There's mother and child in Belgrade carriage, and that is all.
Could there be another conductor with a uniform like yours?
Oh, no, there's no such thing. I had to earn this uniform through years of service. However...
Oui?
Well, frankly, I'm not sure that I trust her word, but Miss Olsen says that last night she saw what she calls a second conductor on the train.
Miss Olsen?
Oui, she told me this morning.
She did not tell us this morning.
She said he was wearing a uniform like mine, and when she spoke to him, he did not respond. In fact...
What? Tell me quickly.
The princess said she saw his man as well last night.
Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la.
What is it?
It is the kind of clue that I have been waiting for. Michel, come with me. You must help me quickly. Michel, Book, we'll be right back. Do not go anywhere.
Where are you going?
You will find out in a moment. Forgive me, mademoiselle. We will be right back.
Well, I thought you wanted to question me.
I do. Stay where you are.
Well, that was exciting. As if we need any more excitement around here. Oh, now listen here, I want my passport back. Can you imagine if there was another shooting and I had to make a run for it? Imagine me wandering through Yugoslavia without my passport. They'd shoot me on sight and ask questions later. Who are you? Well, I'm Mrs. Helen Hubbard of the Miniatas Golf and Whammo! Come on,
You have been extremely patient, madame. Believe me, I am grateful. If there's anything I can do to thank you, I'm at your service.
Oh, you know, you remind me of one of my husbands.
Oh, which one?
Well, the next one.
Oh,
Oh, don't be
He must have a reason.
I have an excellent reason.
Monsieur Poirot, really?
Miss Olsen, you must permit me to look inside your suitcase.
But they are my private things. It has my undergarments in it.
Monsieur Poirot.
We will not look at anything that will embarrass you. You have my promise. Wait, Princess, would you be so kind as to assist me, please?
I suppose.
Miss Olsen, Michelle tells me that you saw a second conductor last night. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What did he look like?
He was small, like a woman.
That is correct. I saw him as well.
Perfect. So, virtually everyone on this train has seen the second conductor except for myself and Miss Chapeau. So, the question is now, where did he go? Is he hiding on the train? If he was still in uniform, we would spot him quickly. So, in conclusion, he has hidden his uniform and he has done so in the luggage of one of the passengers.
But why choose me? There are other suitcases tonight here once.
Princess, would you be so kind as to raise the lid and tell us what you see?
It is the uniform.
I've never seen it. I didn't even do such a thing. I have nothing wrong here.
No, I am not accusing you. You have done nothing wrong.
I have done nothing wrong.
Monsieur Bock, are all of the buttons on the jacket?
No, there is one missing.
Well, are we surprised at this?
Wait a moment, there is something more. Oh la la, mon Dieu, it is the passkey for the doors on the train.
And that would explain how he got into my room.
Mademoiselle, please just tell me, when was the last time you looked inside your suitcase?
It was yesterday, just after we boarded.
So, someone could have hidden it this morning after you left your room.
I have no idea. I have not seen it
Monsieur
before.
Poirot, I must insist you stop bullying poor Miss Olsen in this manner. She is simply not up to it like the rest of us.
You are correct. Forgive me. Would you be so kind as to help Miss Olsen to her room, please, and take Mrs. Hubbard with you? I would like to speak to the Countess alone for a moment, if you don't mind.
Well, of course we mind. As soon as things get juicy around here, you throw us out again.
Will you please stop gossip mongering?
Me? You have your mouth open so much I can count your teeth.
Oh, what a pleasure to learn you know how to count. Bird brain.
Well, if I'm a bird brain, you are a communist.
I am not a communist. I am in exile.
From your husband, I bet, who couldn't wait to get rid of you.
And who's the one with all the divorces?
Well, my husbands were unfaithful.
Oh, and this surprises you.
Oh, well, if you think I'm going to stay here,
Ladies,
one more minute.
ladies! We are all a little worked up to the moment. If you would please... Yes, sir. That's okay.
You seem troubled.
I am getting more and more concerned.
That another crime will occur?
No, that I will solve this one. Countess, what is your maiden name?
Goldenberg, as you see it on my passport.
Oui, but now you use Andrani?
My husband's name.
Oh, of course, the Countess Andrani. And your first name is Elena.
That is correct. I'm a suspect?
Oh, I merely ask the questions. It is my job.
I thought we were friends.
It is my greatest wish. But please indulge me. This morning when I examined your passport, I found a grease spot Before your name, Elena, the spot occurs before the first letter and could easily hide another letter, such as H. If you add H to the beginning of your name, it becomes Helena. A name used by Shakespeare in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is true,
A name an actress might choose for her daughter.
I suppose,
An actress such as Linda Arden, the grandmother of Daisy Armstrong.
if you say so.
And the name Linda Arden in itself is surely a stage name. And the word Arden is the maiden name of Shakespeare's mother and the name of the forest in the play entitled...
As you like it.
You know your Shakespeare well for a Hungarian.
I have studied Shakespeare since I was a child.
Yes, I know. I believe your mother, Linda Arden, taught it to you. That would make you the aunt of little Daisy Armstrong. The aunt who went to graduate school, got a degree in medicine, and then went to Europe and got married.
I do not know this woman. But I would imagine that she still suffers from the loss of her niece. And her sister.
My dear, there is no use denying it. When this train is on their way again and we reach the next city, a simple telegram will give me the photograph of Daisy's aunt. It will be all over.
But I didn't kill him. I should have. But I didn't. I didn't even know who he was until you discovered it. But when you did, I realized that if you knew who I was, that I was Daisy's aunt, you would think that I killed him. Because he was a blackmailer and a swine. And the murder of a darling, sweet, innocent child who deserved to live.
Madame, really?
It's the truth, I swear to God. But I'll tell you this. If I had known who he was, that he was Bruno Cassetti. The man who stole two of the people that I loved most in this world. I would have pushed the dagger through his chest myself. And believe me, no other wounds would have been necessary.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm calling Zagreb Station. Can you hear me, Zagreb? This is Konstantin Vuk of the Orient Express.
We are hearing you, Monsieur Book. Loud and clear.
We remain in the snowdrift in Polinsky Pass. Where are you?
We have been delayed, Monsieur, but should reach you presently. How are conditions?
We are losing heat and light. The provisions are low. The passengers are angry. And we have a dead man rotting in compartment 2. How are things with you?
Well, I'd like to know what the hell's going on. He gave me a note asking to meet him here.
He wrote me the same thing.
I find this ridiculous.
So, where is that little Frenchman hiding? Is he being mysterious again?
He sent me a note to meet him here.
I received one also.
Well, he's obviously up to something, the little weasel.
Pardon? Pardon, I have kept you all waiting, and I apologize. I had to get, how you say, my ducks in a row.
Ducks! Not the ducks!
Oh, it's an expression, Greta. You drive me crazy.
Please, all of you sit down. I have an announcement to make. Ladies and gentlemen, I have called you together to reveal to you the killer of Mr. Samuel Ratchet, also known as Bruno Cassetti.
Well, you're kidding.
I don't believe it. You know who did it.
I believe I do. But first I must interrogate the last of your fellow passengers who have not yet answered any of my questions. Colonel Arbuthnot?
Me?
James?
You do not have a problem answering my questions, monsieur?
No, of course not.
Excellent. In the course of your service to your country, did you meet an army officer named Charles Armstrong?
No.
Have you heard of him?
Yes, we served in the same theater of action, but we never met.
And you've heard of the Daisy Armstrong case?
Of course, she was murdered by some brute who's out for money.
Did you know that Colonel Armstrong was Daisy's father?
No, I didn't.
Or that he took his own life after the tragedy?
Oh God, I'm sorry to hear it.
Colonel, at the hotel in Istanbul, I overheard you say to Miss Debenham, you wanted to get her out of all of it. What did you mean?
I have no idea.
She said no one should see you together until it was over with, until it was all behind you, until what was behind you?
I can't imagine.
Are you aware that you're obstructing justice?
I'm aware of no such thing.
And you, mademoiselle, what did you mean?
I told you already, I wanted to get the trick behind me.
You are lying.
Now see here.
Sit down, Colonel. I am still talking. Now, at the hotel, what did you mean? You wanted to get her out of what? She wanted to put what behind her?
I am married, all right? I'm in the process of getting a divorce, which I deserve because my wife is seeing another man. But I'll lose my case in court if it's known that I'm seeing a woman socially. When the divorce is behind us, we can stop hiding, which is why we've been trying to keep things private, no thanks to you.
You are doing a very poor job of it, I'm afraid.
Well, some of us have emotions, Perot. I'm sure you'd sacrifice your own mother if it led to one of your damn solutions, and I don't think you know what the hell you're doing.
I know exactly what I am doing, Colonel. I am investigating the murder of Bruno Cossetti.
He deserved to die!
Ah! So you do know who he is?
Well, yes, they told me.
But you did not know before they told you. Colonel Armstrong was not your friend in the war. You did not save lives together as you fought in the Indian Army in the northern frontier. You did not swear fidelity and friendship with this man at the time of your trial by fire together. And now you do not give him the respect he deserves for all the tragedy and loss he has had to endure before he took his own life.
Shut up, you country ninny! What do you know about tragedy, huh? What do you know about honor and loyalty and your goddamn justice?
What are you doing?
Stop! You have been telling me lies, Miss Bath. Everyone in this room has been telling me lie after lie, but make no mistake. I know who killed Bruno Cossetti, and I know precisely how it was accomplished.
Well, we're listening.
The facts of this case could not be more simple. At 5 o'clock yesterday, this train left Istanbul on its way to Calais, with stops in between. Approximately 12:30 last night, it ran into a snowdrift, forcing it to stop. At 10 o'clock this morning, Mr. Cossetti was found dead in his compartment with 8 stab wounds to the chest. These are the facts. C'est tout, c'est fini. However, these facts, there are 2 possible solutions to the crime. Under the first solution, one of Cossetti's enemies boarded the train in Sofia and brought with him a wagon-leaf uniform, which he later put on. Then, using the pass key, he entered Cossetti's compartment, stabbed the man 8 times, and left through the door to Mrs. Hubbard's compartment.
Well, that's what I've been telling you all along.
Hear, hear!
Well done, my friend. You have solved the case.
Oh, I would not get too excited. He has not finished yet, have you, monsieur?
No, I have not finished yet. Let me propose a second solution, for 2 unexpected events made the first solution impossible. The first event was the snow, which forced the train to stop. This meant the killer now had a very big problem. Where could he go? He could not get out at the next station because there was no next station. So unless the killer could fly, he must still be among us. He must be one of you.
Well, you said there were 2 unexpected events. We can't wait to hear the other one.
The second event was the discovery of the fragment of letter that read, "Remember little Daisy Armstrong." From this fragment, we know that the killer was not some random enemy of Cossetti's, but someone who came to avenge the death of a 5-year-old child. Am I being fair about this, Miss Debenham? What do you think?
I suppose so.
Excellent. With these facts in mind, the second solution took root, and little by little, it blossomed into all of its terrible ruthlessness. The first clue leading to this solution arrived within an hour of my stop in Istanbul, when I learned that there was not a single ticket left in the first-class coach of the Orient Express.
It is never sold out this time of year. That is ridiculous.
And it was ridiculous. Why was this train so suddenly full? Something was amiss, but thanks to Monsieur Book, I had a berth on the train, and soon on the platform I met an astonishing company of actors.
Monsieur Perrault, I look forward to hearing of your wonderful adventures.
Princess Dragomir, how lovely to see you.
I have agreed to pay her way if she will assist me as I travel to Paris.
I am not married except to God Almighty who lives in heaven.
Hungarian, French, Russian, Swedish. What were all of these people doing on the same train? It was like looking at a painting by Pablo Picasso. Over there is an eye on top of an ear behind the nose. Nothing was normal. Consider the moment in the corridor last night.
Help! Someone come quickly! Help!
Mrs. Hubbard, what? What is it?
There's a man in my room. He ran off. I'm sure of it.
Which way did he go?
That way. Just a second.
But madame, that is where I am coming from, and I saw no one. How is this possible?
How shall I know?
And then came the murder itself. A businessman dies in a locked room in a torrent of almost unspeakable violence.
Dear God, it is awful!
Do you see his chest?
It is horrible.
I can't believe it.
Then it was time to inspect the body, and the Countess and I found not one, not two, but 8 stab wounds to the chest.
Perhaps the man changed hands during the stabbing.
Oh, there were 2 assailants.
One strong, one weak.
After that, I was offered a feast of clues. The gun, the window, the wine, until one clue of real importance was at last discovered. The broken watch.
It is stopped at 1:15.
Aha, at last, it is the time of death.
For me, the importance of the watch was not the time it told, but the place it was found, in the man's pajama pocket. An unlikely place to put a watch, don't you think? Do you sleep with your watch in your pajamas? Do you? Or you? Of course you do not. It would be uncomfortable. So, I concluded that the watch was deliberately placed in the man's pocket to make me believe that the time of death was 1:15, a time when every one of you had an alibi. When in fact, Mr. Cassetti did not die until after 2 o'clock, when no one had an alibi.
You know, I really don't think we need to be subjected to a performance like this
Sit
in front
down,
of...
Mrs. Hubbard. As for who actually killed Mr. Cassetti, the second real clue was found on the floor, near the body. A handkerchief with the letter H in it. And I now return it to its rightful owner, Princess Natalia Dragomirov.
But my name begins with an N, monsieur.
Except in Russian, in the Cyrillic language, the letter N is written like the letter H in English.
Thank you. I must have dropped it.
Which brings us to the most puzzling occurrence of the entire case. As some of you may recall, I was speaking with Mrs. Hubbard and the colonel when suddenly there was a scream and a gunshot. But this was no ordinary scream and gunshot. This was a fabrication so fantastic and elaborate for the moment, even I was confused.
Oh my God, it's her!
What happened?
Mary!
Within moments of seeing Miss Debenham on the floor, I knew it was all a sham, a performance. How could a man 2 feet away merely graze the victim in the arm? And why would I find a powder burn on the sleeve of the blouse where the bullet entered? because she fired the bullet herself, then dropped the gun and fell to the floor.
Nonsense!
You have to be crazy!
Exactly. Crazy, or committed totally to a course of action that meant everything to you. 4 people on this train are friends or family of Daisy Armstrong. Do you not find that incredible?
My father brought the case against that son of a bitch.
Daisy's grandmother is my dearest friend.
He deserved to die.
I imagine she still suffers from the loss of her niece.
And if there were 4, could there not be 6 or 8? Could Miss Debenham have not been young Daisy's governess at the time of the kidnapping?
I lived with a family for about a year. I'm a governess.
And Greta Olsen, who has been a baby nurse for years? May we not suppose she was young Daisy's nurse on Long Island?
I'm a missionary. I work in Africa with the little babies.
As for Michelle, it struck me from the very beginning that a scheme like this could not be accomplished without someone on the inside. Say, a conductor who could come and go as he pleased. Then I recalled the maid Suzanne, who took her own life, was also from Paris, like Michelle. And I wondered if this unfortunate girl was not Michelle's daughter, who went to work in America. As that leaves one passenger who has not yet been accounted for. It leaves Mrs. Hubbard, who has certainly turned in the finest performance of the evening. It is not hard to see that she is an actress by profession. The grandmother of little Daisy Armstrong is the great Linda Arden, who has dazzled so many audiences during her distinguished career.
Swanee, Swanee, I'm going back to Swanee.
I applaud you, Mrs. Hubbard, and I assume you planned the entire thing from the very beginning. Is this true?
I always wanted to be a director.
And so, the murder was committed. There were 8 stab wounds in the body, some strong, some weak, some left-handed, some right, and there were 8 killers. You planned it together, you killed together, and in the name of justice, you played God together.
For the little girl!
For my dirty pig! For Charles!
For Daisy.
For little Daisy.
For my father.
For my darling Daisy.
Oh, my grandchild!
So, my friends, what am I to do? It cannot be long before the Yugoslavian police arrive, at which time I must tell them the truth, n'est-ce pas?
Well, you mean the truth, of course, about the second conductor.
Anything else would be a complete injustice.
On the contrary. The only justice under the law, if you commit a murder, you pay a price.
But it was Gassetti who murdered the little girl.
Did that give you the right to kill him?
Of course it did. He killed 5 people for some ransom money, and he'd done it before, and he'd have done it again. And now it is time for you to turn around and walk away and leave us alone.
No, it is not. It is not that time. I have never in my life turned my back on the law, Colonel. Do you understand that? The law must be obeyed or we become barbarians. It is 1934. Europe is changing. There will be chaos. There will be nothing left of us. We will have to start all over again. I cannot agree to this. I cannot do this.
But the man was a monster, Monsieur Perrault. You know he was.
But I cannot do this. I cannot just...
May a humble actress speak her piece?
Please do, my dear.
Monsieur Poirot, we're in your hands. We acknowledge it. But would you really have preferred if Bruno Cassetti had gotten off scot-free? Is that the kind of justice that you're after? Look at it this way. You have a complete solution staring you in the face. You have the button. You have the uniform. You have 3 reliable witnesses who saw a man in the corridor. Surely you're not calling all of us liars. Because if you did that, there would be months of trials. Lives would be damaged even more than they have been already. And a great many people would be forced to relive the most terrible event of their entire lives. More terrible than any human being should ever have to experience. Is that what you want? Examine your heart and tell us what you want.
You have put me to the test, madame. I am greatly troubled. Monsieur Book, you are the director of the Wagon Lit. What do you say?
In my opinion, the first solution you put forward is entirely correct. We had a deadly intruder disguised as a conductor, and that is the solution I believe you should offer the police.
Alors, my friends, may you go with God. And may He give you the strength you need to get on with your lives.
It is a miracle.
The crews have arrived.
Train is moving at last.
Oh, praise the Lord!
Thank God.
Do you see them? Hello.
I told you we'd be all right in the end. You know, Poirot, you turned out to be more than I...
Poirot? Monsieur Poirot?
He's gone.
Gone where?
Monsieur Poirot?
So the case was over at last. The passengers went their separate ways. I have learned since that time that Greta Olsen did in fact get to Africa. For the first time, so it turned out. She did work with the children, and she saved many lives. The Colonel and Miss Debenham were married in a quiet ceremony at St. James Square. Monsieur McQueen went back to his business, Michel to his trains, and the princess left us for the great beyond. The countess, alas, went back to her husband. Monsieur Book and I have remained close friends. And Mrs. Hubbard, the great Linda Arden, has returned to the stage in a musical entitled No, No, Nanette, in which I am told she brings the audiences to their feet. Meanwhile, I beg you to believe me when I tell you I wish them all well, and I hope they prosper to the end of their days. But at night, when I am alone, in the darkness, I ask myself again and again if this was justice. if I did the right thing. And on many such nights, it is not until morning that I close my eyes. So, my friends, what am I to do? It cannot be long before the Yugoslavian police arrive.
Hello. 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 Hello.
My name, incidentally, is Akio Faro.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Orient Express to Belgrade Station. Orient Express to Belgrade Station. Emergency code number 867. Alert code blue. This is important. Hello. Do you read me?
Can't understand just what does he say. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Oh, it is freezing in here.
You have observed the window?
Oui, it is open.
But what you see outside? Began in the exotic city of Istanbul.
Istanbul, Istanbul, Istanbul is Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
And your husband, the Count, is coming?
Alas, he cannot join me this trip. But since I am visiting my mother, it works out nicely. He does not like her.
Because I really love to count.
We remain in the snowdrift in Polinsky Pass. Where are you?
Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We are losing heat and light. The provisions are low. The passengers are angry. And we have a dead man rotting in compartment 2. How are things with you?
Boring conversation anyway.
Okay, sorry, I'll go get the snack. Oh my God, the train's stopping.
What is it? What's happening?
The snow!
What happens if the engine stops? We all freeze and die.
Oh! There you go, No, Mr. Ratchet! Do you see his chest?
Just a flesh wound.